Welcome to channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Cao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once we have all the updates and news, you will be the first one getting all the insight. Now today's video is all about Pacific engagement. Now it's a replacement visa towards what they call agricultural visa previously. Interestingly, it's a cooperation between numbers of countries, Australia, New Zealand, and United States, and also France, in regards to assist and facilitate the citizenship of the Pacific Islanders in order to, attract within this new so-called Cold War, or whatever the war between the free world and the authoritarian states and things like that. But anyhow, the visa has been announced, and I just saw that in the immigration website, so why don't we have a look at this one? And funny, the actual visa category has been set, but it's not actually been published yet. But anyhow, let's have a look. This may interest you. Anyway, it's just another news, another way that Australia is looking towards to implement its visa program. All right, so this news came out on, I believe that's a Monday. Okay, 16th of January. No one has actually talked about it because it's only focusing on very minor group of people. But anyway, it's our channel focus on all the visas programs in Australia. Why not give a little report on this one, a little bit about my thoughts in regards to this Pacific engagement visa. As you can see, a new permanent visa. So it's a permanent visa. Great. That means once you apply, you're eligible, you apply, you will be approved, straight away become a permanent resident of Australia. We will look at it, we'll look into the actual eligibility and how you actually can meet the criteria there, and the countries being participated in this program there. Okay, so let's have a little read. I noticed the words very little, but I'll read them now. If you're using phone, you probably cannot read it, but if you're using TV, you probably can read it with me. Okay. The Australian government has heard this call of Pacific leaders to deepen connections and easier movement around the region. We are taking steps to improve access and mobility, migration opportunity, boost the Pacific permanent migration to Australia. Now, it has been this kind of migration. Just to let you know, this kind of migration has been a long time for a lot of Pacific Islanders to what they call the mainland, which is New Zealand. It hasn't really been done in Australia as yet. I'm not too sure why Australia has taken a step that long, but it has already been implemented for New Zealand and France and also United States long time ago. So it's a time for Australia. Well, that's great. It's a bit late, but it's never too late. All right, to support, the government is committed a new permanent residence program will introduce Pacific Engagement Visa, PEV, for national participating in the Pacific Island country and Timor-Leste. The PEV will grow Australia Pacific diaspora. It will enable strong people-to-people link and great cultural business exchange. Anyway, it's just another visa allowing Pacific Islanders or Pacific Island nations in order to migrate to Australia. This is also talking about, it goes into another issue about the climate change and the rise of sea level. So a lot of island nations might not be sustainable or livable in the future, so it's a program to allow these Pacific Island nations and citizens to actually migrate to Australia. All right, so they have introduced so-called subclass 192 Pacific Engagement Visa. It will provide 3,000 permanent places annually. All right, so they have actually done, they put this eligible requirement for new visa 192. So when I click into this link, Guess what? It's a dead link. That's a joke. And to be honest, I put into further research. I went into the Legend.com, which is the database of the migration regulations, and guess what? Anyway, they probably haven't updated yet, but let's have a look. Now, as you can see from your screen, it's the most updated version of the database is on the 9th of January. So again, they probably will update it again next week, but currently, look, immigration has posted this, news. You're supposed to be making these links works anyway, but when I scroll down to this is the schedules where all the visa subclasses are. So if we're reading from bridging visa A, that's 010, all the way down to somewhere 995, and I just cannot find. I can find 190 here and 191. And where is 192? It's not there. So what is the legibility? No one knows, but luckily we still got the DFAT, Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade webpage, where it does provide us more information there. So let's go in there and have a look. And so it repeated saying that there's 3,000 visas placement annually, and it will be commenced in 2024. That is now. Okay, and where's the law? I don't know about where the law is. Okay, so it's inclusive of partner dependent visa allocated annually, and then it will just making the cultural and business tie between the nations and Australia. Okay, so you read this one. Which country will be involved? So priority will be given the country with limited permanent migration opportunity to Australia, and countries without citizenship right with New Zealand, France, and United States. So what does that mean? That means New Zealand, France, and the US has already got similar program long time ago. I've got some Samoan mates in Australia. They've been holding Kiwi passport for a long time, but just don't know why Australia hasn't really kicked in this kind of visa until today. So eligible countries include the federal state of Micronesia, Fiji, Kiribati, Nauru, Palau, Papua New Guinea, Republic of Marshall Islands, Samoa, Solomon Island, Timor-Leste, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. Okay, so that's the Pacific Island nations. And how will the country be allocation determined? Well, basically what it's trying to say, it's a black box. Look, you cannot know, and basically we're giving you a little bit of information, several factors of population size, blah, blah, blah. So that means you just, there's no rule. I mean, they will determine it, but then I got to tell you. Well, so is all the other visa. So a lot of people ask me about how long would this visa process be. I said, look, I don't know. You can go to global processing webpage. It will show you a number, but it's not definite because they can change anytime. It's a black box process and procedures. Unfortunately, okay, who will be eligible? You gotta be between 18 and 45 years and enter a ballot. Now we're going to talk about what ballot is. It's an answer down there. I'm going to tell you that. Select through a ballot process, secure formal ongoing job offer in Australia. So before you arrive in Australia, you need to get an offer. How am I going to get that? It's going to be quite hard. I'm not too sure, but anyway, meet English and character and health. So I'm not too sure how the English language requirement is. It going to be competent, or is it going to just be functional? Who knows? Okay, hold a passport of participating country, which we have just mentioned it right up there, and have been born or have a parent who was born in those eligible countries. Now the ballot. The ballot is an electronic random selection process. It's random. Again, that means it's a black box, and it probably works like what? I don't know. It will see how lucky you're gonna be. It's a lotto process. In other words, ballot process. Might as well just say lotto process. With those drawn from ballot, then apply for Pacific Engagement Visa. Applicant will need to be demonstrated that they meet the criteria. So what's gonna happen is you meet those criteria and you put into a ballot, just like buying a lotto ticket, and they throw in the box, black box, okay, and then they just put their hand and put it out. All right, Mr. Who on Who, you got it. So that's how they work, okay? And the rest, it's a ballot, it's expedite. Whoa, you gotta pay for it. You get $25 for that lotto, okay? And then with a visa, will be able to live and work anywhere, right? Yes, they will be able to. What settlement support will be available? This will be the same thing as all the permanent resident applicants or visa holders there. How would the Pacific Engagement differ to Pacific Australian Labour Mobility? Let's have a read about this one. This is a little bit interesting. The PEV will complement PALM scheme by offering permanent resident visa citizens for those, because the PALM scheme is obviously offered to the Pacific Islander as well. So whilst they work in Australia, so that makes sense. And then if they want to transfer into permanent resident, they need to access to this PEV, but in a ballot process. That means it's not definite. You can work there, and if you don't get that ballot, bye, you're gonna go back home. Okay, by comparison, the PALM scheme is temporary migration program, will continue to workforce shortage and go on, so on and so forth. That's for rural and regional areas. So if you want access to this one, mostly are the employers in the agricultural industry, where they can actually access to this PALM scheme to actually get these islanders to come into Australia to work for you. But if they wanted to transfer into a permanent resident, well, good. You need to enter into ballot, $25 to buy a ballot and put it in the black box and see how lucky you are, because it's got to be a random picked. Anyway, should you have more question and query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. And I'll see you next video. Goodbye.